Actually, Bill, part 2 on the time machine, and it's just like I said. My friend gave me some of the patents on a piece of paper. He showed them to me. He got to the Library of Congress. That's through the Freedom of Information Act. A lot of this stuff has been declassified, but this thing here is just. It said it was declassified, but I don't see how it could have been. But just to see that this device is time shifted, and it can be 10 hours, 10 o'clock, and you're using this device, and 4 hours have elapsed. It's 2 in the morning, and only it's 10 after 10. So these devices can affect time and space around you, slow time down and speed it up. Working in Ellis Air Force Base, I saw a lot of different aeroform designs they were putting together, and I watched some of the put the shells of the SR-71s together, which are all titanium, and they run off liquid methane. That's their power source. That's the fuel for some of the super penetrator runs off liquid methane. And I watched some of the saucer stuff that they were putting together, and they were artificial skins to them. They call them the skins to some of the saucers they're putting together were they're synthetics. The polymers out there, I used to get sick just inhaling that shit where I worked. I used to come into some of the hangars and some of the buildings where they were working on some of the craft and stuff, and they were masks and stuff. Like when you're painting, they were wearing oxygen masks due to the chemicals. I inhaled some of that shit, and it was really nasty. Some of the polymers out there nasty where I was at. But anyway, I'm going to sign out. You got the plan that I was talking about. I've never even heard of these devices at all. I've seen time machines and stuff, simulations on computers that they were working on, but not a real functional one. I worked on all kinds of classified stuff. I had an ultra clearance when I was working. I saw all kinds of weird stuff. I won't even discuss all of it, but this device, man, in the wrong hands is lethal. And they got such an advantage over the adversaries. The enemy ain't got a chance when you have something you can see 10 hours or a day in advance and plan out what you're going to do with the next enemy with this thing. It's lethal, so you can see how. But the report that I saw, the patent report on it, was declassified through the Freedom of Information Act. You got it through the Library of Congress. My friend, I looked at the patents on it, and it's a real nuclear time machine used to see into the future. And it was just really mind-boggling to know how that fucking thing is being used. You can imagine anybody gets a hold of something like that. I mean, you can do some damage. So, but it wasn't physical time travel. It was similar to the chronovisor I talked about, but it just it kind of really freaked me out and everything. I don't want to learn about more stuff, because once you learn about it, you get even more paranoid. And in the wrong hands. That's one reason why in this world you want to know why all this technology is being kept a secret, and it's not about religion all the time. It's abuse, man. Somebody gets a hold of something like this, it's mostly abuse of power. That's why they don't let certain people have technologies. I worked at National Technology Transfer Center, and I had people bribing me to sell technology out to foreign countries and spies and shit, and I didn't sell out to nobody. I had a security oath, and I kept to my oath. I never gave nothing to nobody, but we basically were selling different types of technologies to different countries and stuff. Germany, they bought some stuff, and China bought some stuff, they buy it through our company that I work for, and we sold all kinds of stuff out, but it was all, declassified stuff, but it has to go before the Congress before we can release any of this. Goes before the Appropriations Committee before we can even, let any of our technology that I worked on go out to the commercial sector. But they made a lot of money with some of the transfer technology into that sector. Made a lot of money, and now to see the patents on a time machine that you see into the future for 10 hours or more, that just was just like, to know. You hear stories about it, but when you see the patent on it and see that it was declassified, even though it probably was classified at the time, But it's a real time machine. It's a nuclear time machine they've been using, and like Hitler, I told you, used this. Probably, who knows, man. And all the stories about, the Antarctic and the bases they were building underground. You hear all the stories about what's going on in the Antarctic and stuff. Well, they were building that shit a long time ago, the Army. It's nothing really new at all. And the Antarctic cities and stuff were built a long, long time ago, man. It's just evolved from then. From there, Atlantis has been around for a long, long time, the lost city of Atlantis. And they got secret bases running off of Malibu, off California. It's unbelievable, the bases underwater. So it's a vast network underwater. I was in Puerto Rico and stuff, and I also was I was going to tell you something about submarines and how they affect flying saucers, and I'll let you know a secret that a lot of the flying saucers that you see submerging from the Atlantic Ocean and stuff, and some coming out of Puerto Rico, well, they're docking onto submarines. Submarines are like the charging systems for these devices. They're cooled. The sea cools these reactors down. And the submarines, these nuclear submarines, are actually powering, and they're launching underwater. These submarines, they connect. They're docking stations for flying saucers. Some of these nuclear... it's crazy, man. I'm not going to get into all. I'll do that another video on that and everything. But saucers are emerging from under the sea. They're coming off of nuclear submarines. Anyway, I'm going to sign out, folks. I hope you enjoyed the show. I'm going to do a little more on it. This is part 2. Bill signing out. The world is not what we think it is. Peace, love, and happiness. Signing out. Enjoy the evening, folks.